Are you open to a nuclear industry in this country? Would you put your money behind that?
Look, I just don't think it's necessary when you've looked at all the renewable energy that we in Australia and the world has. We have so many thousands of times more energy which is fully renewable, which uranium isn't, than this world, the Anthropocene, will ever need. The problem with uranium as a fuel or the nuclear industry is that you're not going to avoid the process flowchart which brings the enrichment up towards weapons grade. And now that'll lead to a clean world, but I think a pretty unsafe world. And I don't want to leave that to our kids when we've got such a phenomenal option, which is completely renewable, green, zero pollution energy and products, which will leave the world obviously a safe place, but a pollution-free environment.
We've spoken about the efforts in clean energy in Gladstone and elsewhere. If you go back to the company which you built, Fortescue Metals Group, it's announced a goal of net zero Scope 3 emissions by 2040, much further than any of your competitors in that sector. Is it realistic? Can you achieve that?
Well, look, I kind of love that question. You can accuse Fortescue of being ambitious, this or that, but you can't accuse us of not really thinking things through. You know, the other big companies, they did come up with Scope 3 emissions targets at 2050. Not a clue how to get there. We're being pushed by everyone as well to, come up with a Scope 3 emission target. And we're not going to do anything which is superficial. We're going to think it all through. We're going to make sure we have the solutions for our customers. When they want to go green, they can. Now, sure, we don't export any coal or fossil fuel. We export iron ore. But when we're asking our customers to go green, and if you put our customers together with us, you're looking at least half the pollution of Australia. So we're saying to our customers, here's the solution. It is clean green hydrogen or clean green ammonia. That will work just as well as coal in your blast furnaces. We now have the solution. We're going to make sure you get green, carbon-free iron ore by 2030. That's one step away from you making green steel, which you'll need hydrogen for. We're prepared to unlock that challenge as well. And that is, of course, by 2040, we expect all our customers to have gone green. Now, I know that's very unusual for the great industrial world, but I'm also saying to the great industrial world, you don't have to be the first mover if you don't want to, but watch us and then follow fast, because actually global warming is a problem just as much for you and your children as it is for me and my children, and we need to act. And you just sitting there when you've got a first mover showing you the way isn't going to be good enough.
How important is it for the government to move to step up its 2030 reduction goal, along with a net zero commitment, in your view, to give industry certainty?
Look, I'm seeing such great enthusiasm throughout, particularly regional Australia, where the farmers and the small businesses, these are smart people. I wouldn't be talking down to them. I wouldn't be trying to scare them if I was a politician, because they can think through things. If you're offering a huge new industry and a choice of energy instead of just being stuck with one, and a huge new industry and a choice of employment instead of just being stuck with fossil fuel employment, then what could be wrong with that? Now, this government setting to demonstrate that the government is showing leadership to empower, as a small business or mum and dad, your own leadership, that's terribly important. And so I do encourage government, I do encourage Labor and the Nats, let's have a unity ticket on this. Let's show true leadership for our country, and let's give all Australians the choice. Let's allow them fossil fuel plus the huge new renewable energy future. Let's stop bickering.
You'll be attending the COP climate talks in Glasgow, along with there will be many leaders from around the world there. The former Prime Minister, Mr Turnbull, Prince Charles now saying, urging leaders, including our Prime Minister, to attend. Do you think he should be there?
Look, whenever I see our Prime Minister or have the privilege of speaking to him, I do urge him to attend COP26. I think Australia has a fantastic story. I don't think we're that far away from declaring carbon neutrality by 2050, not because we're all running around being climate change activists or climate change deniers, but because the economy is so important to every single Australian. And if you want to grow our economy, then you will back carbon neutrality by 2050, because that is where the really big investments, the really huge number of jobs are all going to be made.
And one final one before you go. I know you have achieved strong ties with Chinese partners over many, many years. Are you optimistic, hopeful at least of a possible reset in the government-to-government relations with Beijing?
Yes, look, I think we just need to take a deep breath. Both sides realise that this planet we're on is a pretty small place. We all need to be friends in the sandpit. Anything else is very short-sighted, visionless. Let's just work out how to get along really well together. And I believe the Chinese and the Australian government both want that. Let's work out a way to do it.
Andrew Forrest, Chairman and Founder of Fortescue Future Industries. Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.